What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are doing our first interview at Warsaw in Brooklyn, and today we are here with the Melvins. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to be up here in the dressing room. Lots of awesome things are happening. But Pinkus Abortion Technician has now been out for a few months, and I got to say, it's an amazing record, great, a lot of different elements in there. How has the recording process in it been so far?
It was good times. We had this fella right here come out, and originally we were just going to do an EP, and we were in the middle of recording a record with this guy, and then we just said to this guy, hey, how about we just get this guy and we can play together, all together. 2 bass.
True.
Yeah. You can never have too much bass.
Never.
Stereo bass, just kind of like what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
Usually you have frustrated guitar players that end up playing bass, but now you actually have 2 bass players playing bass.
That's an interesting way to put it. Frustrated guitar players playing bass.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear it in Sting's guitar playing all the time. The way he.
I hear it in a lot of people's bass guitar playing.
Yeah, no wonder they slap it so much.
Yeah.
But
we told him. We
like they hate it.
We told Jeff though, slap that bass and we slap your face.
That's going to be a name of a song soon. But listening to the record, I saw some references of other bands there. Of course, the "I Want to Hold Your Hand" cover, which I think was the cover of another cover by the Beatles.
It's a cover of a cover. This record has a couple covers on it. One is the James Gang, which actually that would be a cover of a cover of a cover because they didn't actually write that song. So, and then there's so that one's called "Stop."
So who were the James Gang covering?
Some other dude that wrote the song, who happened to be in the studio sweeping up, and they asked him if he wanted to play piano in the song, and if he knew the song. And he's like, I wrote the song, so yeah.
But I also heard a little references to Butthole Surfers with the first track.
That's the "Stop Moving to Florida."
Yeah.
Yes.
Which,
yeah.
Was there like a specific reason why you chose to reference those artists?
Well, because he's in the Butthole Surfers, for one. We played with him a few years ago live, and we were doing that song live. And we just wanted to get a hot studio version of it down.
Okay.
And I think we were doing it just like that, weren't we? With "Stop"?
Yeah, we were. Buzz wanted me to sing "Stop," and then he wanted to do Florida, and so we put it together with all of our sentiments. Stop moving to Florida.
Now, being that you are in Butthole Surfers as well, was it more of like trying to like combine what Butthole Surfers and Melvins do together, or did you want to make it stand out in its own entity?
I think it was more of a. There's many answers to that. Which way do I go? Let me see. I would think that it was pretty standard of a take on it, and it was nice to do it with somebody who could remember the lyrics.
That definitely helps, right?
Yeah, I think Buzz and I wanted to do the Butthole Surfers songs, and especially live. Like, he's in the Butthole Surfers, so we're going to play some Butthole Surfers songs. He's in Red Cross, so we're going to do some Red Cross songs.
Excellent. And
that way we don't have to do any of our songs. It works out great.
Oh, right?
Well, we've always done covers, but now having the guys that actually were involved in recordings of certain songs in the band, it's great.
That's good. Yeah, because every time somebody covers a song, they get accused, oh, you're ripping off the original artist or whatever. But now you have the artists here to testify that you're not just ripping it off.
Right, we just rip off their bass players.
Oh,
Yeah, some people usually used to call it like a tribute or homage. We call it a ripoff.
Now,
Melvins has so many records. Like I lost count. Like
so did I. Long time ago.
Yeah.
You sure? Sure about that? Any number you hear is probably not correct. And in fact, we don't know the correct number ourselves. So.
But being that you guys, with everything you've worked on, you've all put out a lot of records, and you've been in the game now for a while. Does recording new music ever get a little bit easier, or does recording a new record always become a different experience?
Well, it's always a different experience, but it's definitely easier now because we have a studio. So, it's also where we rehearse, and so it's just easier to be right there once you write a song and you can decide, like, oh, let's record this right now. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
So, that's the biggest thing that's changed. Really, is we don't have to book time at some place that costs a bunch of money to go into, and we can be a little less prepared, you know, and kind of finish things right there in the studio.
So there's not too much time
Toshi
restraints.
doesn't need much food, so you just have to let him out of the studio twice a day, get a little exercise. They throw Toshi a ball, give him a little bit of food, and he's good for about 24 hours.
It sounds like you're talking about our dog, but actually that's Toshi, our engineer, Toshi Kasai.
I was trying to like decide. Is that a person?
He's our longtime engineer, and he's kind of studio owner.
Okay.
You know, and we're in on it with him. Partners.
Okay.
Howdy, partner.
Yeah. Now, being that you guys are all in different projects, like I know, Dale, that you were, you know, involved with Acid King and a lot of other different
That was years ago.
Yeah. You know, I remember hearing about it and just like looking up, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then I saw you were on it and I was just like, holy shit. But depending on the projects that you guys are all working on, is there like kind of like a different mind frame that you have to get into, or do you have like a blanket methodology in the songwriting process?
Methodology? What?
I mean, I switch gears quite a bit, especially I also play in Red Cross, and we did a tour last year where it was like a Red Cross set and a Melvins set. And it's like two different and two intense
You also played
sets.
in honky.
Also in honky.
Yeah.
You did Melvins and honky too.
I just play in these guys' bands pretty
You're
much.
asking about songwriting?
Yeah,
You're asking
like-
about touring? Which part of being
like-
in a band are you asking about?
Like I'm asking, like, depending on, because since you guys all work in multiple projects,
Yeah.
if like writing music is like a different mind frame depending on what project you're in.
Oh.
Yeah, you write a little bit. So a lot of times you write towards things that you'd like to jam with certain people. Yeah, I mean, like there's certain drummers that I know specifically like certain styles. So if I write a song in that style, I'd want to play with that drummer like that. And you know, these guys have they write songs. Buzz writes songs that, you know, not everyone would be able to kind of get in that mindset and play. So he's got to kind of pick who he thinks their styles will fit with it. But those guys are really good at piecing together the right people for the right song, the right tool for the right job.
Well, like for instance,
That's what she said.
That's what he said.
he said
That's
it.
what he said.
Um,
Depends on which band you're talking about.
Well,
I just mentioned
That's one of the
tool.
examples of how it's different. Some bands say that's what he said. Some bands say that's what she said.
Wow.
So it's freaky like that. It can be very different. You've got to be on your toes. And
I've
you
never
have
had
to be
an answer
flexible.
like that before. That's actually really interesting.
but back to your question.
What was that?
Well, there's a song on our new record that that's one of Jeff's that he I think originally had intended to be for banjo, but I think him knowing how versatile of musicians we are knew that we could handle a banjo song with the full band setup. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Oh, not exactly, but I like it.
Am I lying?
No, it was never meant necessarily to be a banjo song, but I play it on my banjo. But it's,
Did you write it on banjo?
I wrote it in my head.
That's what he said.
Now, with everything that you guys work on, it's fair to say that you guys there's a lot of experimentation involved. It almost doesn't seem like that there's like a formula that you stay consistent with. So has it always been easy to kind of like try new things when writing music?
Well, I don't think we've ever been afraid to try new things, which is what puts some bands in a rut. They are afraid of doing something that's unknown.
Yeah.
And that they're not comfortable with. So I guess we've always been able to think outside the box, as they say.
Of course.
Once you get to a certain level, you can fart into a microphone, and people are going to think it's great. But if you do it on your first record and no one's ever heard of you, then nobody likes you.
Good point. Not exactly the best way to launch a debut, right?
Yeah, just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah.
No, we don't necessarily take our audience for advantage like that. You know, we don't fart in your face without letting you have a reach around.
Well, I think the audience would be incredibly honored.
Fart honor. Yeah.
Now, touring together live and playing together, how different is it when you're in the studio and you're writing music versus playing music live? Is there like a different attachment that you have to that song? Like when you're playing a certain song live, how different of a feel is it?
Live, the choreography is a bit different than it is in the studio. The moves are totally different in the studio.
A lot higher in the practices.
Okay.
So that's probably the biggest.
Splits are a lot lower in the practices. I can get way down there and practice.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Up during the show.
after you record a song, it might change live anyway, or if there's stuff that we've done in the studio that is experimental that we might not even think about playing it live, or might just do it differently.
Okay. And the final question I'd like to ask is Dale, when my friends in Spotlights actually played with you last year, Mario and Sarah were telling me that, you guys are like one of their favorite bands. You inspired them to pick it up. I've heard plenty of people say Butthole Surfers was an inspiration for them as well. Do bands who take inspiration from you ever inspire you guys?
Sure. Yeah. And by the way, Mario and Sarah are really great people. I really like them a lot.
Yeah,
And
shout
it
out to
was
Mario.
fun watching, just having them play live before us was inspiring. You know? 'Cause I like their songs a lot, and it got me amped up to go on stage. So there you go.
The thing I thought was cool they did was that their drummer couldn't make a lot of the shows. And on the topic of fearlessness that we kind of touched on earlier, like they just totally shifted gears and did the shows with recorded drums. And a lot of bands would be like, they lose their drummer, they would just go home,
Yeah.
mope their way back. And they were just like, totally flexible and just kept going.
Well, they had that plan anyway, I think.
But yeah.
Knowing that Chris couldn't do
But
some
most
shows.
bands maybe cancel.
Right. But I mean, it worked for them anyway.
Yeah,
They're a
of
great
course.
band. So.
Yeah, and I've heard like so many stories on how you introduce members to other bands, and like a lot of people have said that you guys are like the godfathers of sludge metal and stoner and all this stuff. But
Creators of everything. Yep.
creators of everything. As far as
We write
metal's
the songs.
concerned, Melvins are God.
We write the songs that make the whole world sing.
They can't understand the lyrics.
But they still, I can't understand the lyrics either, and I still sing them.
Me too.
That's how powerful they are.
From the heart.
Exactly.
From the heart.
That's why it sounds so muffled.
A lot of distortion in the heart. But I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Everybody, we are here at Warsaw for the Melvin Show. Pick up the latest record, Pinkus Abortion Technician. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, man.